Floaty, Phlowtey, says, do you have a Groundhog Day that you wouldn't mind living the same day over and over again? Based on your reaction, I think driving a wedged snowplow through traffic would take time to get boring. Yeah, it certainly would take time to get boring. And driving a wedged snowplow at 50 miles an hour towards a line of cars is one of the more upsetting things I've ever asked my body to do. There's a type of fear around that is sort of surprising because you can feel your whole body going, no, no, no. It's like bungee jumping. If you've ever tried bungee jumping or skydiving, it's exactly like that. Your body's going, don't want to do that. And that was fun, but I did it. I don't need to do it again. You asked me Groundhog Day moments I wouldn't mind living over and over again. They both involve watching my kids perform. One of my sons was in a vocal a cappella group in high school at Oakland School for the Arts, and I shepherded him and his classmates to several competitions nationally and internationally. And watching those kids perform was such a joy. Look, mostly raising kids is going to school and watching like unbearable recorder concerts that still break your heart with how much you love your kid. Like, yeah. So to watch them execute beautiful songs with the group is lovely. Also, both my kids participated in the School of Rock. Actually, the School of Rock had a franchise here in San Francisco that closed down about 6 months after they started playing in School of Rock, and it became the San Francisco Rock Project. And they did that for like 5 years. I mean, like 9 to 14, something like that. It's an amazing set of ages to watch kids because, like, oh, it's just fascinating. But really, what School of Rock and SF Rock Project do is they just give kids a ton of experience collaborating with other people. There's nothing better. And I specifically remember a later concert of music at the Hotel Utah that the kids were playing, and a whole bunch of my Mythbusters colleagues came that day. It was really, really sweet. And my son Thing One, who was a drummer at the time, was doing a lot of drumming and bass playing. He played drums and bass in a bunch of songs, and it was the first time I watched him like feel the whole performance. A lot of Rock Project stuff is watching kids, playing the stuff that they've learned, and occasionally you get to see them sort of be real musicians. But like in the older kids, they get really, really good. And by the way, Rock Project and School of Rock, the teachers in these are just some of my favorite humans I've met. Grizzled touring musicians who are so grateful to have a stationary gig, and they just love imparting their stage knowledge to these kids. It's really beautiful to watch. But yeah, I would go back and watch each of my sons performing on stage in a couple of different iterations. That would be my Groundhog Day. Production Carp says, do you not like listening to music while you build, or is it just a matter of you can't play music because it's a money matter for the channel? It's both. I do listen to music. I've actually been doing this wiring project behind me, which will be a video in January. Has been hours and hours. I have so many time lapses. And look, you can take the iPhone and say time lapse, and it'll take however long what you did do and turn it into a 30-second time lapse. I have some issues with that interface, but basically Norm was like, can you please just start shooting those time lapses? Because we have hundreds of gigabytes of the free roll of you wiring for hours. And during those time lapses, I listen to music and I sing along. And sometimes we put that up for member videos. But there's this, look, every shop I worked in professionally had music going all the time. Jamie Heineman taught me to love film soundtracks because when he first opened M5, he went out and bought one of those 200 CD changers, and he went to Tower Records and bought like just nothing but movie soundtracks. And it would be like, honestly, like Star Wars. And then you'd be hearing the Raising Arizona soundtrack, which I can still almost hum in its entirety. But so every shop I ever worked in had music going. And then I got the show Mythbusters, and you can't have music playing ever. at all, ever. Because even if you're in a space that's not being filmed, they're filming somewhere else and they can hear the music. So for 14 years, I was unable to listen to music while I worked, and I kind of fell out of practice of working with music going on. So it's funny, a lot of building here happens silently, even though I have a digital assistant inside my speaker cabinet, and I can ask her what to play whenever I want. And there's different ways that I think. When I'm really problem solving, I don't like to have music going on. When I'm really not sure how the build is going, I need everything to be quiet. I need to slow the whole mechanism down. It is mostly during the what I call the holy tedium of repetitive, exhaustive tasking. That's when I love to listen to music. What do I love to listen to? Well, I'm glad you asked. Lately, I'm obsessed. Well, I'm only partially obsessed. My wife, my partner, is totally obsessed with this amazing band called Hooray for the Riff Raff. You're welcome. They're amazing. They've been around for a long time. Last couple of albums have been just spectacular. My wife went and saw them perform and said it was transcendent. They have this song called Buffalo, which I cannot stop listening to. My iPhone just revealed to me that I listened to it this year, more than any other song. I love Hooray for the Riff Raff. I have a brand new love for Olivia Rodrigo. I've always liked her music, and there was a period a few weeks ago where it was just listening to Vampire on repeat over and over again. Besides that, I love my female singers. I love Joni Mitchell. I love Brandi Carlile. I love Tay-Tay. I love Taylor Swift. I'll put all that stuff on. And I also like stuff that I can sing along with. So Elvis Costello, James Taylor, Paul Simon, these things I grew up with. Peter Gabriel. Apparently I listened to a ton of Peter Gabriel last year. Excuse me. There's a movie that was huge when I was a kid. When I was 19, called The Last Temptation of Christ. And it came out in like 1988, 89 maybe? Yeah, it was like 20, 21. Anyway, doesn't matter. Last Temptation of Christ is a Martin Scorsese film starring Willem Dafoe as Jesus. It is a really, really amazing film. And Peter Gabriel's soundtrack for it is maybe my favorite Peter Gabriel album. I've put it on here and listened to it a whole bunch. Also, I'm not above just putting on Howard Shore's score for Lord of the Rings. All right, let's see what else we've got going on here. Oh man, The Inspired Life. Jason asked, what is one gift that everyone should receive for the holidays? My answer to this is actually the top answer to a wonderful Reddit thread from the last couple of years, which was, what is a Christmas present you thought was BS when you were a kid that is actually great when you're an adult? And I'm here to tell you, it is socks. Socks are like, I used to be so enraged at my in-laws giving me socks when I was like 28. It's all I want now. Socks are spectacular. Nobody has enough great socks. Good colorful socks, great way to show your little freak flag. I'm a sock person through and through. We also had somebody asking me, do I have any, oh yeah, Ryan Peck says, do you have any memorable holiday maker stories? And I do have one. Let me see if I get this picture up here. Yeah. So, it's 1987. I'm living in Brooklyn. I come home for Thanksgiving, and my parents threw a lot of dinner parties. They really liked entertaining. So there was like a dinner party every week or two in my house growing up. And Thanksgiving was even more. So Thanksgiving in 1987, I think was going to be like 14 people, a lot of folks. And so my mom bought this absolutely ginormous turkey, and just opening the fridge and seeing it was one of those visual jokes that you just laugh instantly, like, ha, I can't, yeah. And I saw this giant turkey and I was completely inspired. And it's 1987, so I'm 20, which means I'm living in New York and I'm sleeping like every third day, because at 20 you don't really need a lot of sleep. And I love pulling all-nighters, and this was a moment when I had some art materials in the house and I had some plaster bandages. So I went down to the basement and I got some chicken wire, and I made a chicken wire version of the turkey that I then covered in plaster bandages. And then I had bought perhaps one of the weirdest franchised toys would be the 18-inch Kenner Alien toy, which came out shortly after the movie Alien. Not a kid's movie in any way, shape, or form, ever. And yet Kenner released this magnificent 18-inch tall alien figure, and I was so obsessed with it. I remember literally saving up the money, doing like snow shoveling and all sorts of side jobs to earn money to afford the, like, I think it was like $16 or something like that. And I specifically worked out the New York City tax on it because I was saving by the dime, you know. Anyway, the moment I saw this giant plaster of Paris and chicken wire turkey, I knew that I wanted an alien to burst from its chest. So I ripped the head off of my Kenner Alien, which is now a fairly sought after bit of toy ephemera, and I spray painted it white and took red spray paint. And if you baby the nozzle of spray paint, you can get it to spit. It's kind of hard, but it can be really great. And I did that with red spray paint, and I got it to spit this blood all over the face of my Kenner Alien toy. And then I made it burst from the turkey. And we have photographic evidence. Hold on just a second. How much do I, hang on. This is one of those ones where I don't want to unintentionally reveal things. So here we go. Wait, there we are. Oh, all right, there we are. Here is 20-year-old me and my absolutely ginormous turkey having an alien burst from its chest. So you see, this is the longest way of saying that I have always been like this. It's a pathology. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I wanted to briefly mention that you could become a tested member. I know, everybody is competing for you to become a member of their thing. What I want to express to you is that the Tested membership has become such an important part of the Tested family. We get tremendous feedback from the Tested members, and they expand the stories that we can tell and the things that we have access to. And you can become a part of it right now by clicking on the link below. See you in the chat.